Okay, this is the April 2024 Club Day, Heat 1, and I'm just on the outside. It was a random grid for this event, so that means... Anyway, here's the start. No qualifying, and this is literally the first lap I've had. David's getting a bit ahead of me there, Dan's up ahead, and I just managed to go around the outside of him there, so that was really good. So now I'm in second place behind Dan, and literally we've had no qualifying at all for this event. Just straight in after not racing here or not driving here for a week, straight into the race because they decided to have a random draw grid. So very strange. Anyway, so there's about 6 or 7 of us in Masters, and Dan's here ahead of me, and I'm just in second place. And you can see Dan's got his X30 back this week. Last time he had his KA engine, which is a little bit less in horsepower. So now he's got his X30 back, and you can see on the straights he's quite good. There we go, catching him up a little bit on the corners there. And behind me you can see David. David Wood has come back after being away for about 4 or 5 months. Oh, I feel like I'm going into that corner really... I'm trying to brake a little bit earlier so I don't overshoot it, but it's a bit tight. So here we are, just behind Dan. Dan's actually pretty quick. It's very hard to catch him. It looks like we're all pretty evenly spaced here. God, you can see that corner. I'm really struggling. I feel like coming out of that hairpin every lap. And there we go. I'm going a bit sideways there. Bearing in mind that this is the first couple of laps that I've done on this circuit, as I said, for a week. So it's literally like going out for an installation lap and suddenly you're in a race. So it was a bit hairy on that corner a few times. And you can see Dan's getting away from me here, and David's about the same distance behind me. But again, as I said, we're really trying to discover the circuit at this point. And you notice that my kart is really hopping into that corner. And Dad's got a really good shot here of the camera on the side of the road. See, there you go, top 3, top 4. Just within striking distance a little bit. I feel like I'm really braking a little bit early in there, but you can see I really want to keep it tight so that I can get a nice exit. I love this middle section. And certainly coming up the hill, I feel like I'm getting a little bit closer. There we go. So now I'm right up behind him. There you go. So Dan's playing around with his engine. So he said to me afterwards that he was having a little bit of an issue with his engine. So he might be playing around with it a little bit. Oh, and there we go. I nearly went off there. So I had to really back off. Because I'm just not used to that corner. There we go. Really catching up on the brakes. And here we go. So Dan told me he had a little bit of a problem with his engine there, so I managed to duck in up the inside. He tries to go wide, but I've got the line, went over the curb. I feel so rusty at this point, but now I'm into the lead. And I'm thinking all I've got to do is keep it steady, and I should be okay to keep this one. Everyone's pretty close. Yeah, I still think the Rotax is a little bit down on the straight. We're doing about 103, 104 on the straight. And I know the X30 gets up to probably about 107, 108, 109. But definitely on the midfield, this section here, I think the Rotax is a little bit stronger than the other engines, which is good. So it does even out. But I think over the lap, we're all very similar at this stage. I do feel like I'm going a bit wide there, actually. There we go. Dan's getting caught by David a little bit. Totally flat through there. And 4 laps to go. Coming into this corner, like you really, really want to brake a bit later, but if you do, then the back starts to go on you and you end up losing time. And there we go. I put my hand up because I could see these two guys on the side of the road and they're having a bit of an argument. So I just wanted to let them know that I could see them and I wasn't going to run them off the circuit. I did slow down a little bit, but I just thought that was the gentlemanly thing to do. Don't want to scare them off the circuit. I didn't know how far he was behind me, but I knew that they were reasonably close, both of them. Not really pulling out too much. But I know as long as I get a reasonable exit out of that hairpin, then I should be right for the remainder of this straight area. 3 laps to go. As I said, there we go. So if you start to go in a little bit too deep in there, the back starts to come out. Coming through here, you just want to tuck it in as quickly as you can. And here is where I feel like I'm braking a little bit early. So I need to actually start braking a little bit later there next time. And this midsection you can't really see because it's on the side, obviously. It's hopping a lot there. And through this middle section, just trying to be as smooth as possible. And here I notice that I'm getting a little bit far away from that curb, so I actually need to tuck it in a bit more, I think. And I feel like the weakest point of the circuit is coming out of that hairpin that I just came out of. But through here, it's just trying to keep it as smooth as possible, flat to the floor. Getting up to about 102, 103, 104 k's an hour. Nice and smooth there. Tuck it in. Now that was a bit better. I braked a little bit later, which was good. I need to actually do that more often. Sliding. Coming up the hill. Nice easy gap. So we're all pretty evenly spaced out now, which is good. Well, that was nice. Yeah, that was nice. A little bit early, but at least it's nice and smooth around there. Still going a little bit wide at that curve there. Tucking into the hairpin. Again, completely flat through here. Oh, and that's it. That's the end. So that was a very uneventful race. Just Dan having a little problem with his engine, but it was really nice to win the first heat. Okay, here we are for Heat 2, and I'm on the outside again, and I think I'm in 4th this time. But I really got a bad start. You can see on the right-hand side they did so much better, and we kind of got stuck here. So they're all at the inside, and I'm up behind Robert Barnes. Couldn't get through anywhere, so I'm just kind of stuck. Now I'm down in 5th, I think. So Timothy's out front this time, and then it's Dan and David. Then Robert Barnes, and then me. And Robert Baldacci behind, I think. And then Anthony Matre down the back. So this is a really nice jumbled up field. Here I am right up behind him. And I noticed that Robert was a little bit slow coming out of that hairpin, and I had a little bit of a run coming close, but by the time we get to that corner, really was starting to pull out on me again. So I just can't get just can't quite get close enough there. Although I feel like under brakes I had a bit of speed. Oh, he's gotten tail happy there, so unfortunately I had to follow suit. And I'm just following at this point. There we are, and you can see Timothy's gone off. And he ends up coming out last pretty much, so that's really unfortunate for him. One mistake, and you're at the back. So now I'm in 4th place. Really keeping as tight as I possibly can, because I know that Dan and Dave are probably going to be taking off a little bit here. Oh, and I'm waiting for him to slide there so I can get a real run, but just couldn't quite get there. I felt I could have probably had a go if I wanted to, but it was a risky one if I did that, so I just held back a little bit. And just hoping that he's going to make a mistake somewhere here. I should have gone through there a little bit more often, but I didn't really feel like I had the confidence through there to really brake late. And then coming up here, he went a little bit wide, and I managed to get through down the inside. So that was really lucky. That is not normally a passing maneuver there, but he squiggled a little bit, and it enabled me to get a run. Here we are. So now I've got a little bit of space to catch up on David and Dan. And it's really interesting because David's come back after being away for longer than I was. I think he's been away for about 6-7 months maybe, whereas I think I was away for about 4 months. So yeah, he's straight back in, and he's oh my god, went straight over that there. It's very bumpy. I'm just trying to drive. There we go, going over the curb again. I'm trying to drive too hard to catch him. I think I'm sensing the urgency here. And you can see Robert Barnes is keeping up with me, so I'm really getting a bit messy all over the place. I've got a fair bit of space to catch up on the leaders. I think I've got 6 laps to go, so we got a fair bit of time here to see what we can do, see if we can catch them. Oh, still going very wide there. There we go, braking a little bit later, that was much better. Really getting the nose in there, getting on the power straight away. Coming up, there we go, sticking it sideways up the hill. David's getting very close to Dan here. I'm just trying to hunt him down a little bit. Catching a little bit here, I think. And I know that there's a little bit of a deficit with the Rotax on the straight. So I'm probably going to lose a couple of kart lengths each time we go around this section of the track. But I think I can catch him a little bit on the brakes here. And definitely in the midsection I can gain a little bit. God, I'm really getting slidey everywhere. Whoa. Really sliding it out. Yeah, David hasn't seemed to have been able to get close enough to Dan at all. He's just following him through. So it's pretty much status quo on that lap. You can hear that Rotax engine kicking in just before that curb. Like I said, I'd like to brake a little bit later there, but I feel like sometimes when you brake too late, the arse comes out and it's not good. So sometimes smoother is better than being super, super late. Really trying to tuck into that corner rather than brake too deep. You can hear how much it jumps through here. It's very, very rough. Just trying to stay on that power as much as possible. Inch up to him. Oh God, I think I was probably about a tenth faster on that lap. It's very, very slight. And then you can see, God, at the end of the straight, it feels like they're just gone. Oh, right on the edge there. There we go. Nice, turn it in. Oh, really trying to tuck it in tight. Bring the nose back in. Coming down the hill, trying to get it on the power as soon as possible. And then sometimes you can see it goes a bit wide there and it bounces on that outside curb. A little bit too rough. Oh, I went wide there on the curb, and I even got the edge of the road there as well. It's tantalizingly close, but just not close enough. 2 laps to go. It's really interesting. When you get a bit closer, you start to get a bit of a gauge on where everybody's braking. And when you're by yourself on the circuit, you really have to just guess. You have to follow your own feelings. But when you get closer, you start to realize where you're gaining and where you're losing. There we go. So I'm just going straight on that one, which is much better. Going over that curb because it's nice and flat. And just trying to get on the power as soon as I can up the hill without sliding too much. Coming into this hairpin and just, again, braking hard and then trying to not slide too much on the front as I go into that corner. I think I've gained another 10th on him here, but it's very, very, very close. I really need a mistake. There we go. Coming in on the brakes a bit. Oh, sliding away from that curb. Just trying to hold on to it. I'm really trying to tuck it in tight there. Trying to not let it slide out too much. Getting on the power. There we go. So that one was a very early entry. Going over that curb. Oh, so there we go. Sliding out the back. Getting on the power as soon as possible in here. There we go. I'm definitely closer to him in this lap. If only I could start to use that slipstream a bit, but I think I'm a little bit too far away. And it was a bit twitchy on the way in. Over the bump. And there we go. That's the end of the race. So unfortunately, he didn't have enough time, but I think we caught him a little bit.